What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Tyler Perry's Divorce Sisters, Season 1, Episode 11, Dangerous Games. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video. Make sure you like the video so I can stay in the algorithm. First of all, I don't like how Geneva Javon and Rashida is playing in Tiffany's face. Okay? Now, Tiffany, you gotta know something, my girl. Especially after the end of this scene. But we gonna get there. Alright? So, y'all know the episode picks up with Rashida, with Jefferson trying to revive Laz. And they actually got him back to responsive because they gave him the Narcan. So someone gave him some drugs that kind of looked like candy. I'm pretty sure, Jefferson asked Laz where did he get the drugs from. At this point, the ambulance left and all of the things. And Laz is still a little disoriented from, being unconscious. So he was like, what? He just kept saying what because he was disoriented and did not realize that he was dead. So he was like, I got it from a friend at school. So Jefferson now decides he wants to take him to rehab. But Laz was like, well, it's just weed. I think it is just weed. They just laced it with fentanyl. So Laz tells him that the drugs may have been, Jefferson tells Laz that the drugs might have been laced with something. Jefferson asked again, like, where did you get it from? He says, a friend at school. Jefferson tells Laz, like, your drugs was laced with fentanyl. And then that's when Laz admits that he got the drugs from a from a church member's son. And I was like, Rashida was like, through the church, right under y'all nose. Okay? Right under y'all nose. Baby, when I tell y'all the saints be doing the most, the saints be doing the most. Okay? So Laz refuses to go to rehab. He doesn't want to go. And his dad was like, listen, you got a problem. Okay, because ain't gonna be no more of this. Okay? Okay. So, Geneva and Naomi. Geneva, in her attitude, goes over to Naomi's to make a call. Y'all know Naomi needs to turn herself in. And so she told her, listen, I've already taken care of that. Javon has done those things with me. And, has done those things for me. So she tells her, why did you make me come all the way over here? And Geneva is mad. First of all, she's really, really pissed. She is on a warpath and she's pissed off at everybody. Okay, anybody can get it. So Naomi tells Geneva that Javon made the phone call and he'll meet her at the jail at 11. Of course, Geneva's still pissed off about everything. And she was like, so why didn't you just tell me that? And I was like, girl. So Naomi was like me. She was like, listen, your energy is off. What's going on with you? Like, what is all of this? What is this? So Geneva was like, well, Anika had a fall. And Naomi was like, who? I said, no, ma'am, Pam. What kind of friendship y'all have? Yeah. And so she apologized. She apologized to Geneva for not remembering who Anika was. So Geneva gets mad at Naomi and, she was like, this is about the fall and what happened to Anika. And I'm looking at her like, girl, bye. You are mad about the fall, but Anika's okay. You're pissed off that, I don't even think you're pissed off that baby ain't Williams. You're really pissed off because Javon is your friend. So, like, you're not even mad at everything. You're mad at this one thing and you're making everything else a thing when you really need to be having a conversation with your husband. So, sorry, I had some on my lip. Might have been, I was eating food. Anyway, Naomi tells Geneva what happened. And, Naomi tells Geneva what happened when she stopped over at Tiffany's house. How she stopped there unannounced. She was trying to get the alarm to work. And Javon came down the stairs in his undies and was hanging all out. Okay, not literally, but it was, it was hanging out. It was doing its own thing, and it had its own zip code. Okay. So Geneva is really mad. Like, I literally thought I saw fire, like, sparking out the top of her head. I was like, girl. So, Geneva asks, so they're sleeping together? And I think in that moment, Naomi is so self-absorbed and she's so in her own stuff that she doesn't see anything else. And she was like, they just met 2.5 minutes ago. Naomi had to let her know, hey, that used to be our whole number. 2.5, I mean, not minutes, 2.5 seconds ago. That used to be our whole number. What you tripping for? So in the car, we have Jet left. Blah, blah, blah. What is going on? Jefferson and Laz. Jefferson apologizes to Laz for getting rough with him. And Laz was like, I understand. And Jefferson was like, listen, I don't think you understand. He tells Laz how his dad was very abusive. And not only was he abusive to him, he was abusive to his brothers and his mother, which is probably why his brothers have resulted to drugs. He just channeled his anger in another way. Jefferson also lets Laz know that his dad was an alcoholic, and that's why he doesn't allow, because of the abuse and because of the alcohol and the beatings, he doesn't allow his father to come around. So I don't even think at this point Jefferson actually talks with his father. So then he tells Laz, I'm just one day waiting on a call for somebody to tell me that my brother's uncles, because the men in his family are heavily on drugs, very heavy. And so he was like, I'm just waiting on a phone call to let me know that they're not alive. But the generation curse ends here. And I want better for you. So here is where these unrealistic expectations of PKs. I've never been a PK, but I do understand it is the same thing with every PK. I've never seen anybody who doesn't have that expectation over their kids. And that's because the people in the church have expectations for pastors and, the people of the pulpit. But the people of the pulpit at times put these high expectations on themselves, and it automatically falls down to the children, which creates sometimes problematic PK kids. Okay. So, Jefferson says to him, you're special. You're not like the other kids. And he is exactly like the other kids. You guys are setting him apart because you're the pastor. You set a standard and they're supposed to live up to that standard. And that is a lot of pressure. And especially that pressure sits on them from you, from the people in the church. And then not only do you have this expectation, you just assume that they're doing great because you don't see anything. They're not falling apart in front of you. And then you neglect them. Pastor, sometimes a first lady, neglect their family because they're attending to everybody else. And while this is happening, these kids don't know where to place their anger, frustration, and all of these things. So they get into stuff. Okay, I'm no clinician. I'm just saying that's what happens. That is a lot of pressure. So Laz just was like, I just want to be normal. I just want to be normal. Laz said that he get a lot of pressure from the nosy people from the church. With y'all raggedy asses, y'all putting these people on pedestals and placing all this pressure. Like, can you show up like that? Anyway, y'all just got to stop placing these unrealistic expectations on these children. They are children. They are normal. Like, they're just like everybody else. And the moment they make a mistake, y'all shine this light on them as if they've done wrong. They've done so much wrong that's terrible to me. But I think I just said a moment ago, there is a pedestal. You pedestalize the pastor and the first lady. This is just general. People pedestalize their pastors and their first ladies, the people in a congregation, and then there is the unrealistic expectation from the pastor, the parents, the pastor and the first lady. I'm just saying, that's not okay. So anyway, Les tells Jefferson that people are asking him if he's going to be a preacher like his father, or if he'll be able to date their daughters. And I'm like, how are y'all asking a high school kid to date y'all daughters? Like, he's in high school. He just because he's a son of a man of the cloth doesn't make him perfect. Again, the pedestal. I need a lot of y'all to jump off this pedestal. I mean, just jump. Okay. So Laz was like, these people don't even know me like that. And because of all of this, because of the expectations, because of the pressure, it makes him angry. So he has to cope through his anger, because his parents are too busy to teach him how to channel that anger. They just tell him to keep praying, keep pushing. And I'm not saying that that's what they're saying in the story. I'm just saying in general, there's that expectation of keep praying, God got you. I need tools that's going to help me get through the pressures that's placed on me. Or y'all have to let go of the pressures of them and understand that they're going to be they're not perfect, and they're going to mess up. And if they mess up, that is not a reflection. If they mess up, they just mess up. They just mess up. They're imperfect people. Anyway, Jefferson tells him, you can't get away with what other kids get away with. Again, the expectation. Are you listening, Jefferson? I get what you're saying, and he gets what you're saying, but I don't think you're understanding what he's saying. That is a lot. Okay? Listen. If I was a first lady, which I am not first lady material, okay, but I can be, but I'm not, okay, because I don't have time for people. And I, okay, have been in the church, under the works, to just done a lot. You understand me? Been in church often, like all the time. So I know what I know. Been on different ministries, helped out my kids in different ministries. Like, we've been of it. I know it's a different cloth to be of a first lady. So if I was a first lady, and if it was me and my kids and my husband, I would have been like, excuse me, Sister Johnson, but if you don't back the fuck up, okay, I am not Jesus. Okay? I would have a little more couth than that. Okay, get out my face, ma'am. Okay, like, I'm just saying, don't do that, y'all. If you are a first lady and you are watching this, I am so sorry. Okay, hey, listen. I walk my own path. I do my own thing now. It is what it is. Okay. Anyway, that's not what this is about. I just wanted to give an example. So anyway, Les apologized to his father. In the next scene, Tiffany and Javon, he's still knocking the Mario coins out of Tiffany. All you hear is oohs and ahs. Rashida's outside them people door. Baby, why is you outside them people door? And your son was almost unalive. And you're at Tiffany's house wanting to low-key chastise this lady on Geneva's behalf. Unless you're going to tell her the truth and be honest with her, you can go run at the church and go read the Bible or something. This is too much. Because you're saying things, you're making a promise to this lady over here, your friend over here, which is going to in turn hurt this lady. Tiffany is collateral damage. And I blame all three of them. I blame Javon, Geneva, and Rashida. Mainly Javon and Geneva. because you should say something. But then again, you don't want to say nothing because you think it's going to go to William. That's why you don't want to say anything. You can't even admit to your own husband that that baby is for this man over here, which is so crazy to me, but whatever. So, baby Tiffany is over the moon, okay? Rashida was like, you barely even know Javon. So, Tiffany wants to call William to have lunch with him to see how Anika's doing. Rashida was like, that's not a good idea. Tiffany was like, okay. She wants to check on Anika. Rashida was like, she's fine. Okay. What kind of friendship is this? This isn't the second time I'm asking this question. Okay, what type of friendships y'all have going on? Because this is some bullshit. Okay, Tiffany, I need you to snap, sister. I need you to snap out of this. Okay, because this is not okay. None of this is okay. The way those three are moving, none of this is okay. So, Tiffany calls Rashida last night. And the reason why she called Rashida last night when Rashida hung up on her, because she had Geneva in her car crying because she messed over William. She played William. Okay? So she was like, listen, I was just calling you to talk me out of sleeping with Javon. And Rashida tells Tiffany, you know, if you're leading with sex 9 times out of 10, this will be sexual. I was like, whoa. Because you guys are leading with lies. So what is the outcome of that? That's going to be hurt, pain, and mistrust, and anger. And all of that is going to be on Tiffany and William. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because you guys are lying to them. Anyway, Tiffany says that I can tell Javon really likes me. Rashida was like, no, it's just sex. And Tiffany, he does not like you like that. You are just a pawn. And I hate this for her. I hate this for her because you have kept it together all of this time after all of these years not being with a man that screwed you over, and you have to pay alimony to a spousal support or something or whatever to end up in this messy situation. So Tiffany asked Rashida if she should repent. Tiffany said, you know, I'm just a babe in Christ. Rashida said, girl, in 30 years, you still a babe in Christ? No ma'am, no Pam. Okay, bye-bye. So then we get to Naomi and Hakeem. Hey, babe. Okay, y'all know y'all know I love Bolo. All right. Hakeem walks in, asks Naomi for the money up front to do the unaliving on Franklin. Naomi want to know if he's wearing a wire. He said no. Naomi tells Hakeem, you know, just a story or two how she had to endure the stuff with Franklin. She tells him that her lipstick was smudged. She was coming up the stairs. She accidentally bumped into Franklin, and he smacked the piss out of her, and that he would beat her all the time. She said there was a time when I left him, and she had to hide for months so he wouldn't find her. She admits that, you know, I'm at a point that I'm not scared of him no more because the young girl in me was scared of him, but now I'm a grown woman. She then tells him that Franklin was molesting her son and now turning her son against her. And I was like, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. So Franklin is a PDF file. And how, like, I feel like, I hope the writers didn't just throw that in there. We need details. Okay, Franklin, we knew Franklin was a terrible person, but he really is a terrible person. So her and Hakeem leave the house, and I was like, girl, ain't you supposed to be turning yourself in? What are we doing? Anyway, Jefferson and Les. So they're at the hospital down in the morgue. And the doctor tells Les that he's lucky because had your parents not had the Narcan, then this would be you right here. There is a body, of course, in the morgue. So the doctor shows him the body of the 14-year-old who all he had was a Molly, and it was laced. And then he said over in that fridge, there's an 11-year-old who smoked weed that was laced with fentanyl. The doctor tells him, listen, I know you think you're invincible, but you're not. Like, I feel like Laz really needed that reality check. But he still needs to go to rehab. Like, because they're going to hear it. They're seeing it. They're hearing it. And it's going to resonate for quite a while, not a long time. And then he'll jump right into his bad habit. But he has to want to have the help. So that's another thing. I wonder, now I did say last week if this was his exit, because y'all know he is the grandson from Beyond the Gates. So I wonder if they sent him to therapy. Is he finishing out this season? To rehab. Is he finishing out this season? I wonder what's going to happen to his character. I that's the only thing I really wonder. So then Naomi, we get in the next scene, we see Naomi and Geneva. So Naomi this time shows up at the law office to visit Geneva. She wants to know if she can keep her cash locked up, if Geneva can lock up her cash and put it in a safety deposit box for her. Geneva at this point is still pissed off at the world, so she's taking it out on Naomi. And Naomi was like, what's the issue, girl? What's wrong with you? So Naomi gave her the bag full of money, which was $5 million. And she was like, I want you to put this in a safety deposit box. She want to know if it's possible she can be locked up for a while. Geneva still in her feelings. She was like, well, you need to talk to Javon about that. And I'm like, girl. But she wants to move the money to an offshore, a part of her money to an offshore account, and more money to an LLC, just so Franklin won't touch her money. So Geneva suggests that she put the money in her son's name and put it for her son. She was like, no, I don't trust him. All he's going to do is tell Franklin, and Franklin's going to take my money. And Geneva was like, do you trust anybody? She was like, hell no, I don't trust nobody. I barely trust you. And so Geneva suggests that she give it to Rashida. Rashida was like, so huh, the church can spend up my money? Hell no. Okay. I would have gave it to Geneva. I would have gave it to Rashida. And I would have been like, listen, I'm going to give this to you, but I can give your Turk for a little small fee. And give the little lady a coin, okay? Watch how the Lord send it back to you. You might not get locked up, but at least the Lord got your back, okay? I'm just saying, y'all. So, that was that on their scene. But Geneva is spiraling. Her attitude is shitty, and poor William. Like, cause y'all can't be playing with Ron Rico like that, okay? Don't play with Ron Rico like that, okay? Y'all messing over William, all right? So Jefferson and William is wondering how Anika isn't his child. Jefferson asks if he's sure that the IVF treatments did not go through. William said no, and Geneva had tricked him. So he was like, I'm trying to do a process of elimination. And he was like, the only person I know that was around Geneva was you, Pastor Jefferson. Oh no, not me. No, sir. Let's circle back, because it wasn't me. I wouldn't even do that. So he said the other person was Javon, but he was happy with his wife, and Geneva would never. Geneva absolutely did, and that baby is for him. Baby, I cannot wait till William find out. I don't know what the hell William gonna do, but I am very, very scared. Okay? So William thinks that it's somebody at the church named Quincy. And Jefferson was like, listen, just go talk to Geneva. William knows Geneva like the back of his hand. He was like, she's not going to talk to me. She keeps avoiding me. She doesn't want to talk to me. He said the only person that would know is Rashida. Can you please talk to Rashida and let me know what's going on? So Jeff was like, listen, let's just have a double date and we can be there with our wives. He was like, Geneva's not going to go for this. She's not going to go for this. He was like, listen, just let's work out the details and we can go to dinner. Let me know what you got and we're going to work it out. William is hurting. William want answers. And y'all got my guy nervous system jumping. And I don't like it. Okay? So Rashida comes into the church. She sees Myron. She wants to have a conversation with Myron. And at this point, y'all have Myron shaking like booty meat because he thinks that he's going to lose his job. Okay? So she asks Myron if he want to sleep with her husband. Myron says, no, I love my pastor. Myron has father issues. And he was like, I'm really being honest about it. So Myron, what? Because we're confused. You're confusing us. You're annoying us. And lying is not going to help your situation. Okay? So Rashida threatens him. She was like, listen, if you ever come on to my husband again, I'm going to bust your head to the white meat with the Bible. And I'm going to bust your head to the white meat off that King James Version. Okay? Don't play with me. Don't play with my husband. Get it together. How you going to bust somebody in the head? She going to bust the piss out of him with that Bible. Okay? So, this is where I needed Tiffany. Ma'am, I need you to turn it. Land. I need you to land. So get to the jail. Javon is flirting with Tiffany. And he was like, oh, you smell good. And yada, yada, yada. Geneva walks up with her stank ass attitude. She said, oh, how unprofessional. How is that unprofessional when that's his boo? Okay, he's not doing it to you. That would be unprofessional. Anyway, y'all, my nose be itching right here. I hate that. So she has that stank attitude, and she was like, oh, how unprofessional. And Tiffany was like, okay, I was going to call you and ask how Janika was doing. And so she was like, so now you're concerned? And Tiffany was like, are you serious? Because when we were at the hospital, you kept making me leave. You were very cold and dismissive when I got there, as if you didn't want me there. You didn't want me there, and you kept insisting that I leave. That was your attitude. So when she tells Geneva that, Geneva was like, and you didn't try to stay, and I was like, I was Tiffany. I laughed and was like, what in the heck? Like, what? So Tiffany tells Rashida, Geneva tells Tiffany. I'm sorry, Geneva tells Tiffany. Did I say Rashida, y'all? I meant to say Geneva if I didn't. So Geneva tells Tiffany that Rashida's going to babysit Anika instead of you when I go on my trip to Italy. Ma'am, you might as well go ahead and cancel that trip, because you and William won't be going nowhere. Okay? Not nowhere. If William don't try to send you to the hospital, now William, don't do that. Okay, baby, don't do that. Okay? So she was like, now you're off the hook. So Javon's raggedy ass come in and say, well, that just might work, because I asked Tiffany if she can tag along with us. Geneva was like, that's not happening. Tiffany, this is where I need you to see. This is a thing. Them two are a thing. We're a thing. So Tiffany asked Geneva, what's going on? Again, she lies. She was like, she gave this blanket answer, and she was like, everything. I have a lot going on, yada, yada, yada. So Tiffany was like, baby, because you acting like a whole bitch. Okay? Javon was like, whoa, 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 baby. Geneva said, baby. Tiffany, come on. I need you to lock in. She was like, this is ridiculous. And Tiffany was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? Who? So Geneva says, I don't know why I'm here. You're here to check on your friend. You're here as your friend's attorney. And she gets in a car. I mean, she turns around and she leaves. So I'm pretty sure she's going to go get in a car until Naomi shows up. Because while all of this was going on, they were asking where was Naomi. And I hope for Naomi's sake that she actually shows up. So anyway, Tiffany asked Javon, why is she acting like that? He lied and said he doesn't know. And this is what the episode ended. And Tyler Perry is working on my nervous system because why? You won't even let us know what's going to happen next week. We just have to come back and stay tuned. Okay? Tyler Leviticus Perry. Okay, because this is too much. Okay? We want to fight Geneva. Okay, we want to fight Geneva. Okay, we got all the smoke for Geneva. We really want to fight her. Anyway, this was actually good. Episode 11. So with all of that being said, this is your girl Kiwan reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself. And I will see y'all in the next video, which is tonight, Love and Hip Hop Miami. Bye.